The Southern Ocean, a place unlike any other on Earth. Here, the planet's most powerful winds sweep across freezing waters. Giant waves crash relentlessly against the edge of Antarctica's ice, and beneath what appears to be a silent frozen surface, a hidden world is still alive. This is a place where daylight can disappear for months, where the cold can freeze almost every trace of life above the surface. Yet beneath the dark, endless water, life never truly stops. From tiny swarms of krill that sustain an entire ocean, to penguins, seals, immense whales, and strange creatures living in the darkness. Every animal must survive ice, crushing pressure, hunger, and storms that never seem to sleep. This is more than the ocean surrounding Antarctica. It is one of the last frontiers of life, a wilderness that is frozen, violent, and still largely unexplored. Today, we enter the Southern Ocean, to discover the creatures surviving in the most dangerous waters on Earth.
At the southern edge of our world lies a continent unlike any other. Within these layers lies a frozen archive of Earth's past climate. This is Antarctica, the coldest and most isolated wilderness on Earth. For millions of years, ice has shaped this extraordinary land of silence. Here, survival depends on endurance, resilience, and extraordinary adaptation. Beneath these frozen layers lie secrets buried for ages, beyond imagination. This frozen continent holds nearly 70% of Earth's fresh water. Yet despite its beauty, Antarctica remains one of the harshest environments ever known. Temperatures plunge far below freezing, and storms rage with unimaginable power. And yet, life has found remarkable ways to endure. From microscopic organisms to giants of the ocean, every creature fights for survival. This is a land where only the strongest and most adaptable survive. Every sunrise here is a triumph against the relentless forces of nature. Time moves differently in this kingdom of ice. Silence dominates this frozen world, interrupted only by the sounds of wind and ice. Yet hidden within this silence is an astonishing story of life. A story written by ice, shaped by storms, and sustained by resilience. Few places on Earth remain as wild, as mysterious, or as awe-inspiring. This is the last great wilderness of our planet. A frozen world of wonder, danger, and extraordinary life. Welcome to Wild Antarctica. Far from civilization, Antarctica remains untouched by time. Here, ice is not simply frozen water. It is the architect of an entire world. Each crack and ridge tells a story written over millions of years. The forces of nature sculpt this continent day after day. Some ice here has survived since before humanity ever existed. Deep within the ice lie hidden worlds of breathtaking beauty. In this vast wilderness, distance is measured in silence. Nothing here moves quickly. Yet everything is constantly changing. Antarctica is both fragile and immensely powerful. It is a place where beauty and danger exist side by side. This is a kingdom ruled not by kings, but by nature itself. Every horizon here reminds us how small we truly are.
And beyond these icy horizons, countless stories of survival are waiting to unfold.
In Antarctica, survival begins with enduring the unimaginable. For every creature here, the environment is both protector and adversary. These frozen structures preserve the memory of Earth's ancient past. Even the wind leaves its signature upon this frozen world. This is a place of extremes, where only the extraordinary can thrive. Here, nature reveals both its harshest challenges and its greatest wonders. Every sunrise over Antarctica marks another victory in the endless struggle for survival. Across this vast white continent, life persists against overwhelming odds. Beneath this frozen silence lies one of Earth's greatest stories of endurance. Ancient, powerful, and endlessly mysterious, Antarctica remains the last great frontier. Its beauty is breathtaking. Its challenges are unforgiving. Every glacier, every iceberg, every frozen valley carries the memory of ages long past. This continent may seem lifeless, yet it pulses with hidden energy. In a world shaped by ice, resilience becomes the ultimate force.
Few will ever witness this place, but its story belongs to all of us.
This is not simply a frozen continent. It is a living masterpiece of nature. Welcome to wild Antarctica, where survival and wonder exist forever, side by side. As the sun rises higher, Antarctica reveals a landscape carved entirely by ice. This is the kingdom of ice, where glaciers move like rivers frozen in time. Some of this ice has existed for hundreds of thousands of years. Beneath every crack lies the immense force shaping Antarctica's future. These frozen giants are constantly changing, breaking, and reshaping the continent. Every iceberg begins its journey as part of a far larger world of ice. Nature itself is the artist in this frozen kingdom. Inside these icy corridors, silence has ruled for millennia. Across the frozen ocean, countless giants drift silently toward distant seas. But in Antarctica, even the strongest ice eventually yields to time. A dramatic transformation is about to begin. Under immense pressure, the ice begins to break apart.
This is one of the greatest forces of nature on Earth.
The birth of an iceberg is both violent and magnificent. A new giant now begins its long journey across Antarctica's icy seas.
Every layer of ice preserves a chapter of Earth's history. Together, they form one of the most spectacular landscapes on our planet. But Antarctica's greatest secrets are yet to be revealed. Deeper within this frozen kingdom lies another extraordinary world. This is the Kingdom of Ice, and our journey has only just begun. Beyond the ice cliffs lies a realm shaped by unimaginable pressure and time. Here, layers of ancient snowfall have compressed into solid ice over countless ages. Every passage through this frozen maze reveals another hidden wonder. This frozen kingdom is alive with movement, even if it unfolds across centuries. No artist could ever match the beauty created by nature here. Wind, ice, and time are the true architects of Antarctica.
These icy structures have stood for thousands of years, weathering the harshest conditions on Earth.
Yet even here, in this world of stillness, change is constant. Glaciers flow silently, shaping Antarctica 1 millimeter at a time. And this is only the beginning of Antarctica's frozen story.
Across millions of square kilometers, Antarctica remains a world dominated entirely by ice. The landscape appears motionless, yet every grain of snow is shaped by powerful natural forces.
Deep within these valleys, Antarctica guards some of the oldest ice on Earth.
Each formation is unique, shaped by centuries of wind, snow, and unimaginable pressure.
The deeper we look, the more Antarctica reveals its hidden complexity. Few places on Earth inspire such awe and humility. This frozen frontier is constantly evolving, shaped by forces beyond imagination.
These giants of ice travel vast distances, carrying Antarctica's story across the ocean. Here, nature exists at its most raw, most powerful, and most beautiful. And beyond this frozen horizon, another extraordinary chapter of survival awaits. Deeper within the Kingdom of Ice, the scale of nature becomes almost impossible to comprehend. Every contour in this frozen landscape is the result of unimaginable patience and power. Some places in Antarctica seem almost otherworldly. Here, ice dominates every horizon and shapes every moment.
These drifting giants are among the most magnificent creations of nature. Each iceberg is unique, carrying a story written across thousands of years. No continent on Earth feels so vast, so wild, or so untouched. This is a kingdom ruled by ice, shaped by storms, and defined by resilience. Yet beyond this frozen landscape lies an even greater challenge.
Soon, Antarctica will enter one of the harshest seasons on Earth.
The age of endless daylight is drawing to a close.
Winter approaches, bringing darkness, storms, and an extraordinary battle for survival.
And with winter,
comes one of the greatest stories in nature. For somewhere within this icy wilderness, life prepares for its greatest challenge.
Soon, we will witness the remarkable creatures that call Antarctica home. They are among the toughest animals on Earth.
Their story is one of sacrifice, endurance, and hope. For the emperor penguins, the greatest journey is about to begin.
Next, life in the dark winter.
As winter approaches, Antarctica enters a season unlike anywhere else on Earth. For these remarkable birds, winter is not a time to hide. It is the beginning of life itself. Each year, they travel enormous distances to breed in the harshest environment imaginable.
Soon, the sun will disappear for months.
And with darkness comes a battle for survival. Temperatures plunge below -50 degrees Celsius. Yet together, they create warmth where survival seems impossible.
Their unity is their greatest weapon against the extreme cold. Every bird takes turns facing the deadly winds.
A perfect strategy, refined over countless generations. For months, darkness will dominate this frozen world. And the worst of winter has not yet arrived. A great storm is approaching. Soon they will face one of the most brutal tests of endurance in nature.
The age of darkness has begun. But even in the darkest winter, hope endures.
Because here in Antarctica, survival is never an individual struggle. It is a story of unity, sacrifice, and extraordinary resilience.
Against all odds, life continues.
This is life in the dark winter. The long winter has only just begun, and survival will demand unimaginable endurance. Alone, none could survive these conditions. Together, they become stronger than the storm. This remarkable dance of survival has been perfected over thousands of generations. In this world of ice and darkness, cooperation is the key to life. For many fathers here, the future of the species rests upon a single fragile egg. For more than 2 months, he will endure hunger, cold, and darkness without leaving his place. Temperatures continue to fall, pushing life to its absolute limits. This is one of the most extreme environments any animal will ever face. Yet even here, life refuses to surrender. For Antarctica's most devoted parents, the greatest challenge is still ahead. Every father waits patiently for the day his chick will finally hatch. Against all odds, hope grows quietly within the darkness. Inside this tiny shell lies the future of an entire generation. Soon, Antarctica will witness one of nature's greatest miracles. This is life at the edge of survival. And their greatest test is only beginning. Because soon, new life will emerge into one of the harshest places on Earth. A new chapter of survival is about to unfold. For in this frozen world, every life is a miracle. Next, the miracle of new life. After months of darkness, patience and sacrifice are finally about to be rewarded. Deep inside this fragile shell, a new life has been preparing for the harshest beginning imaginable. Against impossible odds, life is emerging. This tiny chick has entered one of the most unforgiving worlds on Earth. Warmth, protection, and patience are now its only chance of survival. Across Antarctica, a new generation is beginning its extraordinary journey. Every chick represents hope, but survival remains uncertain. The cold remains relentless, and danger is never far away. Still, these remarkable birds continue to defy one of the harshest climates on Earth. In the frozen wilderness of Antarctica, every new life is a miracle. Far away, another journey is nearing its end. The Weddell seal mothers are finally returning. After months apart, families are about to reunite. In the darkness of Antarctica, love and survival are inseparable. Their sacrifice has ensured the survival of the next generation. For them, the battle for survival now shifts to the sea. Life in Antarctica is a cycle of endless journeys. But Antarctica holds far more stories than the lives of penguins alone. Beneath the ice, powerful predators are already waiting. Next, the hunters of ice. Beneath Antarctica's frozen surface lies another world, cold, silent, and ruled by predators. In these freezing waters, survival depends not on strength alone, but on perfect adaptation. This is the leopard seal, Antarctica's most formidable hunter. Fast, intelligent, and incredibly powerful, it dominates these frozen waters. Patience is its greatest weapon. For the penguins, every journey to the ocean carries enormous risk. Hidden below, danger waits in absolute silence. A deadly game of survival is about to begin. In these waters, hesitation can mean the difference between life and death. Speed, agility, and instinct are pushed to their absolute limits. This is one of nature's most extraordinary underwater worlds. For today, survival belongs to those who never stop adapting. Yet the frozen ocean hides far more secrets than anyone could imagine.
There are places here no human has ever fully explored.
And in the deepest waters, life shines in ways beyond imagination. A hidden universe exists beneath Antarctica's frozen surface.
Soon, Antarctica itself will begin to change.
After months of darkness, a new season is approaching.
The long polar night is coming to an end. Next, the return of light.
For the first time in months, sunlight touches Antarctica once again.
The frozen continent begins to awaken from its long winter sleep.
For Antarctica's wildlife, the return of light means new opportunities and new challenges.
A new generation has survived Antarctica's darkest season. As temperatures rise, Antarctica's frozen world begins its annual transformation. This short summer season will bring life to every corner of the continent.
Sunlight fuels an explosion of life beneath the ice.
These tiny creatures form the foundation of Antarctica's entire ecosystem.
And where food is abundant, giants will soon arrive.
From the distant ocean, some of the largest animals ever to live, humpback whales, are returning. They have traveled thousands of kilometers to reach these rich feeding grounds.
These are the giants of Antarctica.
Creatures so immense that they redefine our understanding of life on Earth.
Their arrival marks the beginning of Antarctica's most abundant season. A new chapter of life is unfolding across the frozen continent.
This is Antarctica Reborn. And among these waters live some of the greatest giants ever known. Their story is one of strength, migration, and survival.
And soon, we will meet the true giants of the Southern Ocean. Next, the giants of Antarctica.
From the depths of the Southern Ocean emerges one of the largest creatures ever to exist. The blue whale, the largest animal in the history of our planet. Despite its incredible size, this giant survives on some of the smallest creatures in the ocean. Every summer, Antarctica provides the rich feeding grounds these giants depend upon. A single breath from this titan echoes across the frozen sea. But the blue whale is not the only giant to return. Humpback whales combine immense strength with extraordinary agility.
Their summer feast will fuel one of the longest migrations on Earth.
Together, these giants transform Antarctica into one of the richest ecosystems on Earth.
This is the season of abundance in the Southern Ocean. Yet even in this season of plenty, danger still exists. Across the Antarctic waters swims another extraordinary predator. Intelligent, powerful, and highly social. These are the orcas, Antarctica's most strategic hunters.
Working together, they have perfected some of the most extraordinary hunting techniques on Earth.
Soon, we will witness their remarkable intelligence in action.
The ocean grows quiet, but only for a moment. Because beneath the ice, the hunters are already preparing. Their next move will demonstrate why orcas are among the ocean's greatest predators.
Next, the killer whales.
Unaware of the danger below, this seal is resting in one of the most dangerous waters on Earth.
These are killer whales, masters of teamwork and strategy.
Their intelligence rivals that of the greatest hunters in the animal kingdom.
Every movement is calculated. Every hunter knows its role.
Somewhere deep inside, instinct senses a hidden threat.
The hunters are preparing one of the most extraordinary techniques ever observed in nature. Together, they can create waves strong enough to wash prey from the safety of the ice.
The moment of truth is approaching. Speed, teamwork, and perfect timing.
This is the legendary wave wash hunt, one of the most intelligent hunting strategies in the natural world. The first attack strikes with incredible force, but the seal is still holding on.
For a moment, survival still seems possible.
But orcas rarely fail. They learn, adapt, and strike again.
This time, their strategy will be even more precise. The seal senses danger, but there is nowhere left to run.
Perfect teamwork, astonishing intelligence, and overwhelming force.
The second wave is devastating.
Its determination to survive is extraordinary. But the hunters are patient, and they have one final move.
In the frozen wilderness of Antarctica, the battle for survival is far from over.
The hunters are preparing their final assault, one perfected through generations of experience. Every member knows exactly what to do.
For the seal, survival now depends on a miracle.
This time, the ocean itself becomes their weapon. the final attack succeeds.
Now begins the most dangerous moment of all.
Speed and agility are the seal's only hope. This underwater world is as beautiful as it is unforgiving.
One final chance remains.
Against incredible odds, it survives. Even the greatest hunters do not succeed every time. For Orcas, every hunt is another lesson.
And for the survivors, life continues. Beneath these waters, countless mysteries still remain.
There are places beneath the ice that few have ever witnessed. A hidden world exists beneath Antarctica's frozen shell. Here, life has evolved in extraordinary ways.
And their story is only beginning. Beyond the hunters, beyond the ice, lies another Antarctica. Next, life beneath the ice.
Far beneath the ice, a hidden universe has flourished for millions of years. In this icy world, life exists in forms unlike anywhere else on Earth. These waters are among the richest and most productive ecosystems on the planet. Some species here possess extraordinary adaptations to survive temperatures that would kill most other animals. The deeper we descend, the stranger Antarctica becomes. These hidden landscapes remain among the least explored places on our planet. Here, silence reigns, interrupted only by the sounds of ancient ice shifting above. Even in the coldest darkness, life finds a way to thrive. Summer is transforming Antarctica from a world of darkness into one bursting with life. From beneath the ice to the vast frozen continent above, Antarctica is a masterpiece of survival. Yet the greatest wonders of this continent are still waiting to be revealed.
Across the continent, millions of animals take advantage of this brief season of abundance.
Life flourishes here with astonishing resilience.
But this magnificent frozen world is changing.
Its future depends upon forces far beyond this frozen horizon.
A continent of extremes. A world unlike any other.
Its story is one of survival, adaptation, and enduring beauty. And despite all its challenges, life continues to thrive.
This is Wild Antarctica.
A frozen wilderness where life conquers the impossible. But Antarctica's greatest secrets are not found upon the surface.
Hidden beneath kilometers of ice lies an ancient world, almost untouched by time. Some of this ice has remained frozen for hundreds of thousands of years. Inside Antarctica's ice caves, beauty and mystery exist side by side. Every layer preserves a chapter in Earth's ancient climate history.
These frozen cathedrals are among the most spectacular natural wonders on Earth.
Yet beneath these caves lies an even greater mystery. Scientists believe hundreds of hidden lakes exist beneath Antarctica. Some have remained isolated longer than humanity itself has existed. Could life exist here, in complete isolation from the outside world? The answer may forever change our understanding of life on Earth. But Antarctica's mysteries do not end beneath the ice. The frozen surface is every bit as extraordinary as the world hidden below. These rivers of ice are constantly moving, reshaping the continent itself.
This dramatic process is known as calving, one of nature's most powerful spectacles.
Each iceberg begins an incredible journey across the Southern Ocean. No two icebergs are ever exactly the same. Even these frozen giants become homes for countless forms of life. Antarctica is a land of endless wonders.
And beyond these icy horizons, an even greater adventure awaits. Beyond the glaciers and hidden lakes lies the heart of Antarctica, a place of unimaginable scale and beauty. This frozen plateau contains nearly 70% of Earth's fresh water. At first glance, this landscape seems lifeless, yet nature is constantly at work here.
Hidden beneath the surface are fractures deeper than skyscrapers are tall. Every layer of ice tells a story stretching back through Earth's history. Even here, towering mountains remain hidden beneath the ice. Some of these peaks remained unseen by human eyes until modern times. Few places on Earth inspire such awe and humility. Antarctica remains one of the last true wildernesses on our planet. And where ice meets the sea, life gathers once more. This brief summer season brings an explosion of life to the frozen continent. Every creature must make the most of these precious months of abundance.
The Southern Ocean becomes one of the richest feeding grounds on Earth. Even the smallest creatures play an essential role in this extraordinary ecosystem.
Life thrives here because every part of nature is connected. This is a world built upon resilience. A land of ice, mystery, and astonishing life. And despite its harshness, life continues to flourish. Its story is far from over. For Antarctica remains one of Earth's greatest natural wonders. For millions of years, Antarctica has remained a realm of extremes, a place where only the strongest endure. Its glaciers are among the oldest and most powerful forces shaping our planet. Its oceans support an astonishing abundance of life.
From microscopic plankton to the largest animals ever known, every species is connected.
Even in the coldest darkness, life adapts in extraordinary ways. Every corner of this frozen continent tells a story of resilience. Generation after generation, life continues against incredible odds. Few places on Earth inspire such wonder. It is a world of silence, yet full of life. A masterpiece sculpted by ice, ocean, and time.
Seen from above, Antarctica reminds us how extraordinary our planet truly is. Its frozen wilderness influences weather, oceans, and life across the globe. Protecting this extraordinary place means protecting the future of our planet. For despite its harshness, Antarctica remains one of Earth's greatest treasures.
A place where giants roam, where families endure,
where predators thrive,
and where life conquers the impossible. This is Wild Antarctica. A frozen kingdom, forever wild.
Yet among Antarctica's countless wonders, there is one creature unlike any other, a humpback whale. These giants have traveled thousands of kilometers to reach the richest feeding grounds on Earth. Meet the blue whale, the largest animal ever to live on our planet. Its heart is larger than a human being, and its song can travel for hundreds of kilometers. Despite its immense size, this giant feeds on some of the ocean's smallest creatures.
These tiny crustaceans form the foundation of Antarctica's entire food web. In a single mouthful, it can consume millions of krill.
Yet even the largest creature on Earth depends on the delicate balance of Antarctica's ecosystem. Every summer, these giants return to Antarctica in search of abundance. This is one of the greatest wildlife spectacles on Earth. Among these giants, powerful family bonds help ensure the survival of the next generation. The calf must grow quickly, nourished by one of the richest milk supplies in the animal kingdom. Each day, the young whale gains strength for the incredible journey ahead.
Their bond is one of nature's most extraordinary relationships.
Yet these peaceful giants face enormous challenges in a rapidly changing world. Their future depends upon the health of the oceans they call home. And deep below the surface, another giant is approaching.
a creature even more mysterious and rarely seen.
Its story is one of the greatest mysteries in the Southern Ocean. Next, the hidden giants of Antarctica. For decades, these giants remained hidden in one of the most remote oceans on Earth.
The fin whale, second only to the blue whale in size, yet equally magnificent.
Built for speed, it can travel enormous distances across the Southern Ocean. Every summer, Antarctica becomes a sanctuary for these remarkable giants. Yet even these giants are only part of Antarctica's extraordinary story. In these icy seas, abundance attracts creatures of every size. Every species depends upon this fragile web of life. But Antarctica's underwater world hides countless secrets yet to be discovered. Far below, life exists in ways beyond imagination. An alien world hidden beneath the ice. These frozen cathedrals remain among the least explored places on Earth. A world shaped by ice and sustained by resilience. Above this hidden world, life flourishes in astonishing abundance. The Southern Ocean remains one of Earth's last great wildernesses. A kingdom of ice, alive with extraordinary wonders. Every season here is a triumph of survival. And still, many mysteries remain unsolved. Its story continues to unfold with every passing season. A frozen continent, unlike anywhere else on Earth. Next, the eternal ice. In Antarctica, ice is far more than frozen water. It is the architect of an entire world. These colossal ice shelves are among the largest structures ever formed by nature. Some ice here predates human civilization itself. Even these frozen giants are constantly changing. Every iceberg begins a journey that may last for years across the Southern Ocean. No two icebergs are alike. Each is a masterpiece shaped by nature. Together, they shape one of the most extraordinary marine environments on Earth. Even beneath the waterline, ice provides shelter and life. Much of an iceberg's true size remains hidden beneath the waves. In this hidden world, life continues far from the reach of sunlight. A delicate balance connects every part of this frozen ecosystem. Few places on Earth are as breathtaking or as important. Its future is tied to the future of our planet. A place of immense beauty, immense power, and enduring life. This is the eternal ice,
continent where nature still reigns supreme. Its story will continue for generations to come. Wild, mysterious, and forever extraordinary. This is Wild Antarctica, a frozen kingdom where life conquers the impossible. Within these layers lies a frozen archive of Earth's past climate. Beneath the surface lies an ancient archive, preserving Earth's distant past. Beneath the surface lies an ancient archive, preserving Earth's distant past. But in Antarctica, summer never lasts forever. A long and unforgiving winter is approaching. Temperatures will soon plunge below -5 degrees Celsius. Yet for one species, this is only the beginning.
The emperor penguin chooses to raise its young during the coldest season on Earth.
No other bird dares attempt such an impossible challenge. For the next several months, fathers alone must protect the next generation.
Together, they create one of nature's most extraordinary survival strategies.
Soon, the sun will disappear completely. And the long polar night begins. For months, darkness will rule this frozen kingdom. Winds can exceed 200 kilometers per hour. Only by standing together can they survive. Every hour becomes a battle against the cold. This is one of the harshest environments anywhere on Earth. And yet, life endures. Above the frozen darkness, nature creates one of its greatest spectacles. Even in endless night, Antarctica remains breathtaking. But the greatest test is still to come. Next, surviving the polar night. Now begins the longest and most difficult chapter of their lives. Together, they perform one of nature's greatest acts of cooperation.
If the egg touches the ice for even a few moments, the chick inside may not survive.
For months, he will endure hunger, exhaustion, and unimaginable cold.
Temperatures can plunge below -60 degrees Celsius.
In conditions like these, few animals on Earth could survive.
Week after week, they wait in silence. Above them, nature paints the darkness with breathtaking beauty. Deep inside the eggs, new life is beginning to awaken. After months of waiting, the miracle finally begins.
Born into darkness, into cold, into one of the harshest places on Earth. Its survival depends entirely upon the devotion of its father. In this frozen kingdom, love itself becomes a survival strategy. Across the ice, countless fathers fight the same battle.
And at last, help is on the way.
After journeys of hundreds of kilometers, they finally return home. Each family must find one another by sound alone. Against all odds, another generation has survived. Life persists, even in the darkest winter. And the story of survival continues. After months of darkness, Antarctica is preparing for a remarkable transformation. For the first time in many months, the sun returns. Now, the race begins to raise the next generation before winter returns. Each chick depends upon constant care and protection. The return of sunlight awakens the entire Antarctic ecosystem. Tiny creatures once again fuel one of the richest food webs on Earth. Few animals move with such elegance beneath the sea. Spring arrives quickly in this frozen world. Across the Southern Ocean, giants are returning. The Great Migration begins anew. Life is returning everywhere. A new generation is preparing to face the challenges ahead.
The frozen continent is alive once more. Yet this fragile balance is constantly changing. Its future will shape the future of our world. A land of extremes. A world of resilience.
Where life conquers unimaginable odds. Its story is one of survival, adaptation, and hope. This is Wild Antarctica, a frozen wilderness, forever alive. As spring awakens Antarctica, another extraordinary journey is about to begin.
For Adelie penguins, this is the season of family, migration, and survival.
Every year they return to the same breeding grounds, guided by instincts older than memory.
Here, millions of birds gather to begin the next chapter of life.
In Antarctica, even the smallest stone can mean survival. Competition is fierce because every nest must withstand Antarctica's unpredictable weather. Together, they share one of nature's most demanding responsibilities. Beneath the waves, these birds become extraordinary hunters.
Every successful hunt increases the chances of their chicks surviving.
Speed, agility, and teamwork make them masters of two worlds.
Soon, new life will emerge.
Born into one of the harshest places on Earth, their journey begins.
Their survival depends entirely on the devotion of their parents.
Every day is a race against hunger and the ever-changing Antarctic weather.
Across the continent, millions of similar stories unfold each spring.
Life is flourishing once more.
But where life gathers, predators are never far away. One of Antarctica's most formidable hunters has arrived. For the penguins, every journey to the sea now carries great risk. Next, the hunters of the ice. Perfectly adapted to life in these icy waters, the leopard seal is among Antarctica's most efficient predators. The hunters wait patiently for a single moment of opportunity. To feed their families, they must enter the sea. Every dive becomes a leap of faith.
In the crystal waters of Antarctica, danger can appear without warning.
Speed, surprise, and perfect timing. For the penguins, agility is their greatest defense. Against incredible odds, survival remains possible. Even the greatest hunters do not always succeed. Across the frozen continent, life continues to flourish. Every successful hunt means another chance for the next generation. Every species here plays its part in an extraordinary ecosystem. At the heart of this world lies one of nature's smallest miracles.
Tiny creatures that sustain giants.
And soon, Manitou Inapula, the giants return once more. Every year, Antarctica becomes a gathering place for the largest animals on Earth. This frozen continent is alive in ways few places on Earth can match. But its story is still unfolding. A land of survival, beauty, and endless wonder.
Next, the Ocean of Giants.
In the waters surrounding Antarctica, the largest creatures ever to exist gather in astonishing numbers.
After traveling thousands of kilometers, they have arrived at one of Earth's richest feeding grounds.
Tiny creatures sustain giants in one of nature's most extraordinary relationships. Despite weighing more than 100 tons, it feeds on animals smaller than a finger. Here, abundance fuels life on an unimaginable scale. And the blue whale is not alone. fin whales. Elegant giants built for speed and endurance. Together, they transform Antarctica into an ocean of giants. And now, another familiar giant returns. Powerful, intelligent, and astonishingly graceful.
Their hunting strategy is one of the most sophisticated in the animal kingdom.
Few places on Earth hold such an abundance of life. This frozen ocean nourishes life on a scale beyond imagination. Everything here is connected. A delicate balance, sustained by ice and ocean. One of the last great wildernesses left on Earth. Wild, mysterious, and endlessly alive. Yet countless mysteries remain beneath these icy waters.
And some giants are still waiting to be discovered.
Next, secrets beneath the ice. Beneath Antarctica's frozen surface lies a hidden world few have ever seen. This is a realm sculpted by ice over thousands of years. Gigantic ice cathedrals hidden beneath the Southern Ocean. A landscape as alien as another planet. And in the darkness, life has found extraordinary ways to survive. Creatures that generate their own light, transforming darkness into beauty.
Some Antarctic fish survive without red blood cells, an adaptation found nowhere else on Earth.
Beneath the ice lies a thriving ecosystem unlike any other. Even in the coldest ocean on Earth, life flourishes. And somewhere beyond the darkness, giants still roam. But not every creature beneath the ice has revealed its secrets. Its identity remains one of Antarctica's greatest mysteries. There are still places beneath Antarctica where no human eyes have ever looked. A hidden universe, waiting to be understood. And above this hidden kingdom, life continues its endless cycle. A continent of endless wonders. Its greatest mysteries may still lie beneath the ice. A frozen world unlike any other. Its secrets are endless. And our journey has only just begun. The deeper we descend beneath Antarctica, the stranger this hidden world becomes.
Some of these frozen structures are older than human civilization itself.
Life here survives at the very limits of possibility. Creatures that create their own light, illuminating a world hidden from the sun. Some species found here exist nowhere else on Earth. This hidden ecosystem has evolved in isolation for millions of years. Many mysteries remain unsolved, even today. Some places beneath Antarctica have never been explored. And perhaps extraordinary discoveries still await. For every secret uncovered, countless others remain hidden. Above the ice, another story continues. Life flourishes across every corner of this frozen continent. From microscopic life beneath the ice to giants of the ocean. Every part of Antarctica is connected by an extraordinary web of life. A continent of mystery, resilience, and wonder. Its story is far from complete. And its future will shape the future of our planet. Wild, mysterious, forever extraordinary. Yet the greatest stories are still waiting to be told. Next, the future of the frozen continent. For millions of years, Antarctica has shaped the climate of our entire planet.
Its ice stores nearly 70% of Earth's fresh water. Ice is never truly motionless. It is part of an endless cycle of change. The lives of countless species depend upon the stability of this frozen world. From the smallest krill to the largest whales, all are connected. Few places on Earth remain as wild or as awe-inspiring. Its beauty lies not only in its ice, but in the life it protects. Seen from above, Antarctica reminds us how extraordinary our planet truly is. Its frozen heart influences weather, oceans, and life across the globe. Its future matters to every living thing on Earth. And despite its harshness, life continues to thrive. Generation after generation, Antarctica remains a place of hope and resilience. A world where survival and beauty exist side by side. One of the final great wildernesses of our planet. Its story has been written in ice over millions of years. And its greatest chapter is still unfolding. Wild Antarctica. A land of ice. A world of life. A frozen kingdom, forever wild.
Yet among all the creatures of Antarctica, None command more respect than the hunters known as orcas. Intelligent, powerful, and astonishingly social. Orcas are among the most successful predators ever to evolve. They live in close-knit families, passing knowledge from one generation to the next. Every hunt, every journey, becomes a lesson for the young. For these hunters, teamwork is their greatest strength. Patience, intelligence, and cooperation make them formidable. Their language is rich. Their bonds are lifelong. Few animals inspire such awe. Yet their greatest abilities are still hidden beneath the waves.
Masters of the frozen ocean.
Perfectly adapted to one of the harshest environments on Earth.
Guardians of the frozen ocean.
Their story is one of intelligence, family, and survival.
A world where every creature has its place.
And their journey is far from over.
For Antarctica still holds countless wonders. A frozen kingdom unlike any other.
And deeper mysteries still remain.
Next, the hunt beneath the ice.
Beneath the ice, every movement is calculated. Every member knows their role. Patience is one of the orca's greatest weapons. Generations of experience have taught them techniques found nowhere else in nature. Together, they prepare one of the most remarkable hunting strategies on Earth.
Not by strength alone, but by teamwork.
This extraordinary behavior is known as wave washing, a hunting strategy requiring intelligence, precision, and cooperation. But even the greatest hunters do not always succeed. For Orcas, every experience becomes knowledge shared across generations. Young orcas spend years learning the secrets of survival.
Masters of a world sculpted by ice.
Their lives are inseparable from the frozen continent they call home.
This is a world of extraordinary intelligence and resilience.
Powerful enough to dominate the seas, yet deeply connected through family.
Among Antarctica's greatest wonders. Yet Antarctica still hides many secrets. Mysteries waiting beyond the horizon. A frozen kingdom unlike any other on Earth. And their story is only beginning. Next, life at the edge of ice. At the very edge of ice and ocean, life endures against unimaginable odds. These remote shores provide sanctuary to millions of animals.
Here, new generations begin their lives surrounded by both abundance and danger.
Curiosity drives the young, but survival demands caution. Soon, every young seal must face the ocean for the first time.
The Southern Ocean offers both opportunity and endless challenges. Like all creatures here, survival is learned through experience.
Every dive reveals new wonders hidden beneath the ice. A secret realm sculpted by ice and time.
Across Antarctica, every species depends upon the fragile balance of ice and sea. Together, they form one of Earth's most extraordinary ecosystems.
A frozen continent, alive with stories of resilience. A place where life persists against all odds. Its beauty is timeless. Its mysteries endless. A frozen kingdom at the edge of our world. Forever shaping life on Earth. Wild, mysterious. And forever extraordinary. This is Wild Antarctica.
From space, Antarctica appears silent and still, but beneath these waters, a fierce struggle is beginning.
With the return of light, Antarctica's short season of abundance has begun. At the heart of this frozen world are creatures no larger than a finger. Krill are the foundation of Antarctica's great food web.
For penguins raising hungry chicks, every successful dive matters. Across the coast, thousands of families depend on the riches of the sea. In this brief season of plenty, parents must work without rest. But the same abundance that feeds the vulnerable also attracts powerful hunters. In Antarctica, every meal comes with risk. Speed, instinct, and timing decide who survives.
And far offshore, giants have followed the krill clouds north.
For whales, this short summer feast will fuel journeys across entire oceans. Working together, they use one of the ocean's most remarkable feeding strategies. In the Southern Ocean, cooperation can be as powerful as strength. For a few precious months, the ocean becomes a banquet for giants. From the sky to the depths,
every creature competes for the same seasonal bounty. Here, life is never still.
But as food gathers in the open water, larger hunters begin to arrive. The ocean's most strategic hunters are on the move. Next, the great hunt begins. For the seals, the ice is a refuge, but nowhere in Antarctica is completely safe. Each member knows its position, and every movement is part of a carefully learned strategy.
A warning travels through the ice. Danger is approaching from below. The hunters have chosen their moment. A wall of water turns the fragile platform into a battlefield. The first attempt has failed, but the pod is not finished.
Their success depends not on one hunter, but on the intelligence of the entire family. This time, the force of the ocean will be even greater.
In a single instant, survival can slip away. Now the chase moves into the hunter's world.
For the smaller animal, every gap in the ice may offer a final chance.
The frozen maze has offered refuge. For now. Even an unsuccessful hunt becomes a lesson for the next generation. Across the Southern Ocean, every creature is searching for the same precious reward. At the center of this vast competition are the tiny animals that feed an entire continent. For the penguins, speed and numbers can make the difference between hunger and survival.
On land, the race to feed the next generation is just as urgent.
Every meal carries the promise of another day alive. This is Antarctica's great battle for food, a struggle that connects every life in the frozen wilderness. Next, the final feast of summer. For a brief time each year, Antarctica becomes one of the richest feeding grounds on Earth. The greatest animal ever to live has arrived for the final feast of summer. For the giants, these tiny creatures provide the energy for an epic migration. Every level of the food web has gathered at the same extraordinary banquet. For the smaller hunters, speed and timing are everything. Back on land, hungry chicks are growing stronger by the day. Soon, they too will leave the safety of the colony and face the Southern Ocean.
For every young penguin, the first plunge is a step into an unknown world.
But the sea that feeds them is also filled with danger. In the shadows beneath the ice, another hunter waits.
Built for surprise, the leopard seal is one of the ocean's most specialized predators.
But the season of plenty cannot last forever. As summer slowly turns, the great ocean feast begins to fade.
Soon, the whales will begin their long journey away from these frozen waters.
For the young, independence is coming, and with it, the greatest test of all. Already, the first signs of the coming cold are returning.
As the light fades, the balance of power beneath the ice begins to change.
In Antarctica, every ending is the beginning of another struggle. The abundance of summer is disappearing, but the hunt has only become more urgent. Next, the deadliest hunt.
As summer fades, the Southern Ocean becomes colder, darker, and far less forgiving. In this maze of ice and shadow, one hunter is perfectly at home. For the young penguins, the ocean still holds everything they need and everything they fear. To survive, they must leave the safety of the ice. But beneath the ice, every path may already be watched.
The leopard seal does not need to chase at first, it only needs to wait.
Patience is the first weapon of a master hunter. Drawn by the promise of food, they have entered the hunter's world. In Antarctica, even a moment apart can become dangerous. The silence breaks, and the hunt begins. For the penguins, speed alone is not enough. They must outmaneuver the ice itself. The frozen labyrinth offers refuge, but only to those quick enough to find it. A split second, a single turn, can decide everything. For one young bird, the ice becomes a lifeline. For now, the chase is over, but the ocean never stops waiting.
Even the most skilled hunter must conserve its strength for another chance.
As the season closes, every predator must seek new opportunities. The first storms of autumn are returning, and the hunt is growing harder. The brief abundance of summer is fading, and winter is gathering strength.
Next, the storm hunters.
As the storm closes in, darkness becomes an ally to the hunter. In Antarctica, a storm can transform the world in minutes.
For the young and inexperienced, shelter is now as important as food.
Below the storm, the hunter remains patient.
The storm reshapes the ocean itself, gathering prey into ever smaller spaces.
Separated from the safety of the group, one young bird must now find its way alone.
In the storm-darkened water, danger is almost impossible to see. Every contour of the ice gives the hunter another place to hide. The smallest gaps may offer the greatest chance of escape. The hunter is powerful, but the ice does not surrender its secrets easily.
Above the ocean,
The storm is now at full strength. For seals resting at the edge of the ice, survival means enduring the storm itself. Under the ice, the storm is muted, but the hunt continues. As the water cools, food becomes harder to find, and every opportunity matters. In the darkness, surprise is often more important than pursuit. At last, the violence of the storm begins to fade. Against the odds, the young survivor has found the safety of the group once more. For the hunter, patience has been tested, but the season is still changing. Every storm leaves its mark, and every survivor must adapt to what comes next. Next, the frozen ocean returns. After the storm, the ocean begins its transformation once more. In the freezing sea, winter begins with countless tiny crystals. For the hunters beneath the surface, the changing ice creates both obstacles and opportunities. As open water disappears, every breathing hole becomes precious. For the penguins, the familiar pathways of summer are vanishing beneath the ice. Night by night, the ocean seals itself beneath a growing skin of ice. Even as the surface freezes, life finds shelter in the ice itself. For the great whales, the time has come to leave these waters behind. Their long migration begins beneath a sky growing colder with every day. The orcas remain, adapting their routes to a world that is closing above them. The Southern Ocean is becoming a continent of ice. For those who stay, survival now depends on hidden passages between ice and water. Below the frozen roof, a hidden world remains alive. The frozen ocean is not empty. It is simply hidden from view. Each day is now shorter than the last. Soon, the long polar night will return. And for some, winter is not a time to flee, but a time to begin. Their impossible journey has begun once again. The frozen ocean has returned, and with it, the greatest challenge of all. Next, the long polar night. As the light disappears, the greatest journey of Antarctic winter begins. They have traveled far from the open ocean to breed in the coldest season on Earth. Here, on a continent closing into darkness, a new generation will begin. In the crowd, partners find each other again through calls carried across the ice. In the frozen silence, devotion begins with a simple, shared ritual. Every hour, the cold deepens, and the colony must become one living shelter. By sharing warmth, they can survive temperatures that would defeat almost any other bird. From above, the colony appears small, but together, It is strong enough to endure the impossible. Soon, she will lay a single egg. The future of their family carried in one fragile shell. In this bitter cold, touching the ice even once could be fatal. The transfer must be perfect, a moment of absolute trust between two parents. Now, the father takes responsibility for the most difficult task of all. She must return to the sea to feed, leaving the father alone with their fragile future. Their journey to the ocean may take days across a wilderness without shelter. For the fathers, the long vigil has begun. Inside the huddle, warmth is shared, every bird protecting the life beneath its feet.
The colony moves like a living organism, ensuring no father is left exposed for too long.
Then the storm arrives, testing every bond within the colony. For months, there will be little food, no sun, and no escape from the cold. Next, fathers of the frozen night. For the fathers, winter has become a test of endurance unlike any other. For more than 2 months, he will protect this fragile life without food. Inside the huddle, the cold is held back by the strength of the colony. No father can endure the edge alone. Survival depends on constant cooperation. Across this empty wilderness, thousands of fathers share the same silent vigil. While the fathers endure the darkness, the mothers race toward the sea. Only the ocean can provide the food their future chicks will need. Below the frozen surface, they must gather enough strength for the journey back. Every movement is measured. One mistake could expose the egg to lethal cold. Each day without food drains their strength, yet the fathers remain. Then another storm erases the horizon and tests their resolve once more. In the center of the storm, the colony becomes a fortress of feather and warmth. When the wind falls silent, the fathers are still there. At last, deep within the shelter of the father, a new life begins to stir. After weeks of darkness, the reward for endurance is finally here. Across the colony, small voices now rise above the endless wind. But the fathers have almost nothing left to give. Beyond the horizon, the mothers are returning. They carry the food their chicks desperately need, and hope for the fathers waiting ahead. Next, the reunion in the darkness. After weeks apart, the mothers have finally found their way back through the darkness. In a crowd of thousands, each family recognizes a voice that belongs only to them. For one family, the long wait is over. She has returned with food from the distant sea, just in time for the hungry chick. For the father, the hunger of winter has reached its limit.
Now the fathers must make their own journey, driven by a hunger that has waited for months.
Their path to the ocean is long, but at last, survival calls them back to the sea.
The mothers now take over the watch, keeping the young alive through the deepest cold. Though small and fragile, the chicks have survived the first great test of their lives. But winter has not finished with them yet. Within the huddle, warmth is passed from one life to another.
When the storm has passed, the colony remains, battered but unbroken.
Day by day, the chicks grow stronger and more independent.
Together, the chicks form their own living shelter while their parents return again and again from the sea.
For the fathers, the sea brings food, and the first promise that winter will not last forever. After months of darkness, the sun is beginning to return.
For the chicks, this is the first light they have ever seen.
The long polar night is ending, but survival will demand even more from the growing colony. In Antarctica, every dawn is a victory earned through endurance. Next, the return of light. After months of darkness, the sun has returned to Antarctica. For the youngest members of the colony, this is their first glimpse of a world beyond the night. With light comes a new rhythm and renewed hope for every family. Now the chicks can gather together, freeing their parents to search for food. For the adults, the return of light means one thing above all else: food. At last, the ocean is within reach again. Below the ice, a hidden world is beginning to wake.
The returning sun feeds the smallest lives first, and they will feed everything else.
For the hungry parents, every dive helps secure the future of the colony. The long cycle of feeding and returning has begun again. The chicks are stronger now, but their demands are greater than ever. Each day of light brings new strength and new independence. Across Antarctica, the frozen landscape is beginning to change once more. Open water is returning, carrying the first signs of spring across the frozen ocean. With more light, the ocean begins to grow rich again. For the seals, the return of open water brings freedom of movement.
And far beyond the ice, the first ocean giants are beginning to return.
Every return of light draws life back toward this frozen continent. Winter has not vanished, but the balance is beginning to shift. Next, the awakening ocean. As the sun climbs higher, the ocean beneath the ice begins to awaken. The first food of spring grows quietly beneath the ice. Tiny creatures gather in extraordinary numbers, preparing to nourish an entire continent. For the penguins, every returning meal strengthens the next generation. The return journey begins again, carrying the ocean's promise back to the colony.
The chicks have endured the darkness, and now they grow with every passing day.
Across the frozen ocean, other survivors are also responding to the return of light. For the seals, open water brings access to a richer world beneath the ice. The hidden winter world is slowly becoming a world of movement once more. But wherever life returns, hunters are never far behind.
The awakening spreads from beneath the ice to the skies above.
Every opening in the ice becomes a new opportunity for life. Out at sea, the return of abundance calls the giants back to Antarctica. The ocean giants follow the smallest creatures into the returning light. Across a continent once locked in darkness, a great food web is rebuilding. And with the awakening ocean, Antarctica's most strategic hunters are moving once more. For the orcas, spring brings a changing ocean filled with new possibilities. As the frozen world opens, every path between ice and ocean becomes a place of possibility. The long winter has loosened its grip, but a new season brings new battles. Next, the race for sprong. With every day of spring, the race for food becomes more urgent. The smallest creatures are gathering first, and every hunter knows where to find them.
For the penguins, each successful dive carries vital energy back to the growing chicks.
But every journey from sea to colony costs precious time. The chicks are no longer sheltered beneath their parents. Now they must wait together for every meal. For seals, the retreating ice opens new routes to food and new places to rest. In the Antarctic spring, even the ice itself becomes part of the food web. Where prey gathers, the hunters follow. For smaller hunters, speed and vigilance are the price of every meal. In Antarctica, survival often belongs to the quickest turn.
Beyond the ice edge, the ocean giants have arrived in greater numbers. The whales are preparing a strategy shaped by intelligence and cooperation.
In the awakening ocean, teamwork can turn a fleeting opportunity into survival. Across the ocean, every species is racing to claim the season's first abundance. For the orcas, spring is also a season of learning.
Every route through the ice, every signal, every choice is passed from one generation to the next.
As the ice retreats from the coast, another great migration is about to begin. For these birds, spring means returning home to begin the next generation. The race for spring is transforming the frozen continent into a world of new beginnings. Next, the kingdom of summer.
At last, summer is approaching, and Antarctica is becoming a kingdom of life. Each year, they return to the same ancient shores, guided by instincts older than memory. For a few precious months, this barren coast becomes one of the busiest places on Earth. Among the crowd, partners reunite, ready to begin another season together. In a world of wind and stone, every bond begins with recognition. Here, even the smallest stone has value. It can become the foundation of a new life. Across the colony, thousands of homes are rising from the bare Antarctic ground. In a crowded city of birds, even one pebble can spark a dispute. Every nest is a small fortress against cold, water, and time. Soon, their partnership will be tested by the demands of parenthood. A single egg now holds the future of an entire family. From this moment on, every hour of warmth must be shared. One parent guards the nest, while the other must face the sea. The ocean offers food, but every journey into it carries danger. Below the waves, the parents become agile hunters in a world of blue ice and moving light. For every chick waiting on land, the hunt beneath the ice must succeed. Every successful return brings relief to a partner who has been waiting in the wind. Day after day, the rhythm of the colony continues without pause. Then, after weeks of waiting, a quiet movement signals that new life is ready to emerge. In the kingdom of summer, a new generation is about to take its first breath. At last, after weeks of waiting, a new life enters the kingdom of summer. For now, warmth and protection are all that stand between the chick and Antarctica's harsh elements. Across the colony, thousands of fragile lives are beginning at once. Every successful journey to the sea now carries food for a family waiting on land. For the chick, every meal is a step toward strength. The entire colony is now driven by one urgent rhythm: feed, return, protect, repeat. Below the surface, the parents become swift and tireless hunters. But every feeding journey enters a world where danger is always close. For the smaller hunters, survival depends on speed, vigilance, and the shelter of the ice. Those that return safely carry the ocean's reward back to their waiting chicks. In a good season, one family may soon be caring for more than one hungry voice. The nest is becoming a nursery, and every challenge is about to grow larger. For these new lives, the world is still only warmth, feathers, and the sound of their parents. But above the colony, another danger is watching. For unattended nests, a moment of weakness can invite disaster. The parents answer danger with vigilance and courage. For now, the nursery is safe, but summer offers no lasting peace. Then the weather begins to change. For the smallest chicks, a summer storm can be as dangerous as any predator.
Next, the storm over the colony. The storm has arrived, and every family must face Antarctica at its most unforgiving. For the smallest chicks, the warmth of a parent is their only shelter. Outside, the wind is relentless, but beneath the feathers, life endures.
Across the colony, thousands of parents make the same silent promise: to protect the next generation.
Even the hunters of the sky must yield to the force of the storm.
In Antarctica, survival is not always about escaping danger. Sometimes it means standing your ground.
For every parent, the storm is a battle fought one gust at a time.
At last, the wind begins to ease, and the colony emerges from the storm.
The storm has passed, and the young have survived another great test.
Now the parents must return to the sea, because the chicks are hungry again.
The ocean has once again become the parents' hunting ground. With every return, the young grow a little stronger. Soon, the chicks must begin exploring the world beyond the safety of their nests. Every uncertain step is the beginning of independence.
The colony is changing, from a place of nests into a nursery filled with new voices.
Their soft down will not last forever. Soon it must be replaced by feathers built for the sea. All across the coast, the season of life is reaching its fullest strength.
Beyond the colony lies the ocean, a world they have never seen, but one they must soon enter.
For every chick born here, the greatest journey is still ahead. Next. First steps into the sea. For every young penguin, the ocean is both a promise and a mystery.
It has never entered this vast blue world before.
For safety, the young will take their first steps together. Below them lies a world of food, freedom, and danger. Then, one young bird makes the first leap. Soon, hesitation gives way to instinct. At first, every movement is uncertain, every current unfamiliar. But the sea begins to teach them quickly. Here is the reward that has brought generations of penguins to the ocean. Each small success builds confidence for the days ahead.
For now, the ice remains a place to rest and to recover. Beyond their tiny refuge lies one of the wildest oceans on Earth. But beneath the surface, another presence is watching.
In Antarctica, safety can vanish the moment the ice is left behind.
The young must learn to read the ice and listen to every warning in the water. Together, they discover that speed alone is not enough. They must be agile too. For now, the ice has given the young birds a second chance.
The first lesson of the ocean has been learned. Survival depends on staying close. Soon, these young birds must leave the safety of the colony behind forever. Next, the trial of the open ocean. Beyond the ice lies a far greater challenge: the open Southern Ocean. Here, there are fewer hiding places, and every direction feels endless. The ocean moves with forces they cannot yet understand.
Instinct draws them together, because together they are harder to lose. Food is everywhere in the summer ocean, but reaching it is never without risk. With each dive, the young birds are learning how to feed for themselves. But the open ocean gives the hunter room to move unseen. A warning passes through the group in an instant. In the open sea, their only defense is speed and the instinct to return to cover. Once again, the ice becomes a refuge.
The young have survived their first true encounter with danger. Every escape teaches them where safety can be found.
Now the colony is behind them, and the wider world is calling. Even above the waves, the young birds are discovering a world full of movement.
Confidence is growing with every journey beyond the ice.
The young do not travel entirely alone, and the ocean is full of lessons left by those who came before. By following experience, the young are learning where the ocean gives most generously.
The first journey has only begun, and the ocean stretches farther than any young bird can imagine. Soon, the fledglings must rely on their own strength, far from the safety of home. Next, the journey beyond the ice. With every kilometer, the young leave the familiar world behind.
The ocean has its own paths, invisible rivers that can carry life across great distances.
For the first time, the young have found food far beyond the safety of the colony.
To survive here, they must learn not only where to feed, but how deep to go. Every movement is copied, every lesson absorbed in the blue silence of the ocean.
But in these rich waters, the smallest hunters are never alone. The young penguins have entered the realm of the ocean giants. In this immense world, even the smallest traveler has a place. But beyond the ice, the sea is never still.
For the inexperienced, even a changing current can become a serious test.
Experience leads them toward shelter, where the sea is quieter and the young can recover. For now, the iceberg becomes an island of calm in a restless ocean. Beneath every iceberg lies another world, full of shelter, shadow, and life. The sea is teaching the young where life gathers.
and where food may be found. Ahead, the ocean is alive with movement, a gathering shaped by the richness of summer. Here, the summer food web reaches its greatest intensity. The fledglings are no longer simply surviving. They are learning to belong to the ocean. Beyond the ice, every new horizon brings another lesson. From the smallest penguin to the largest whale, every life is drawn together by this extraordinary ocean. Next, the Ocean of Giants. The young penguins have entered a world ruled by giants. For the giants of the Southern Ocean, summer is a season of abundance. They have crossed entire oceans to reach this brief but vital feast.
Their arrival transforms the summer ocean into a gathering place of extraordinary scale.
At the center of this ocean kingdom are creatures small enough to fit in a human hand. Together, the whales prepare one of the ocean's most remarkable feeding strategies. The bubbles become a living net, concentrating the swarm into one small space. In the open ocean, cooperation turns abundance into survival.
In Antarctica, the food web connects every creature from the smallest krill to the greatest whale.
But there is a giant even larger than all the others. The blue whale is the largest animal ever to live on Earth. In these icy waters, even the smallest creatures can sustain the greatest body on the planet. Every breath connects this giant to the world above. For a moment, the greatest creature on Earth breaks the surface of the frozen sea. Here, within the Southern Ocean, the giants share one extraordinary wilderness. For the young penguins, the presence of the giants is another lesson in the scale of their new world. But even the greatest animals must follow the changing currents of food. Other giants move through these waters too, built for speed in a world of ice and distance. Across the Southern Ocean, summer has drawn an entire assembly of giants. Next, the song beneath the ice. Beneath the ice, the ocean is never truly silent. Every call carries through the cold water, reaching far beyond what the eye can see. Across this hidden world, the giants remain connected by sound. The largest animal on Earth speaks in a voice as deep as the ocean itself. In the depths, sound becomes a map through a world of darkness and distance. Even the smallest travelers move through an ocean shaped by voices far larger than themselves. For a calf, every sound, every movement, and every journey begins with its mother. In a world of giants, the first lesson is to stay close. Above the surface, the silence breaks with the breath of giants. Not every voice belongs to the slow and the massive. Some giants are built for speed. Within the frozen corridors, every sound is shaped by water, ice, and distance. The ice has its own voice, groaning, cracking, and reshaping the world below.
In the frozen ocean, every sound becomes part of the rhythm of life. But not every call belongs to a gentle giant.
For orcas, sound guides the family through every route, every hunt, and every lesson. In the same ocean, many voices overlap, each carrying a different story of survival.
For now, the Southern Ocean is alive with sound, movement, and abundance.
But summer never lasts forever, and the giants will soon have to move again.
The changing season is already calling them toward another journey. Next, the giant's long journey. The season of abundance is ending, and the giants must begin their long journey away from the ice. For the young calf, this first great migration will be a journey of learning and endurance. Before they leave, every final meal helps build strength for the long ocean road ahead. Even the greatest animal on Earth must follow the changing currents of food and season.
Built for speed, the fin whales are already moving toward the wider Southern Ocean. The rich feast of summer is beginning to thin, and the ocean's travelers feel the change.
Together, they turn toward the north, guided by instincts older than memory.
Their paths may cross only briefly, but all life here is shaped by the same frozen ocean.
A final farewell to the summer feeding grounds. Ahead lies thousands of kilometers of open ocean and a world beyond the ice.
From above, their journey seems small against the vastness of the sea, but it is one of the greatest migrations on Earth.
The last giants slip quietly away into the deep. Soon, only the echoes of their calls will remain in these waters.
For the young penguins, the giants have passed, but their own journey in this ocean is only beginning.
Already, the ocean is changing again, preparing for the return of the cold. As the giants depart, the frozen continent begins to close itself once more. The season of giants is ending, but Antarctica's story never stands still. Every departure leaves the frozen ocean quieter, and every silence marks the turning of a season. The great summer feast is fading, and another long chapter of survival is beginning. Next, the last days of summer. The giants have gone, and the last days of summer are slipping quietly into the cold.
For the young penguins, the ocean is no longer a place of first discoveries. It is becoming their home. Back on land, the great summer colony is beginning to fall silent. The nests that raised a generation will soon be buried beneath another winter.
Now the adults must leave the land behind and return fully to the sea.
For months, the colony was their world. Now the ocean calls them onward once more. The rich summer feast is changing, and the young must keep learning where food can still be found. As the ocean freezes, other specialists are already preparing for the long cold ahead. For a seal, the new ice is not a barrier. It is a roof above an underwater world.
Each freezing night closes another path through the ocean. Even the birds of summer are beginning to feel the season turn.
The colony has gone, leaving only the memory of a summer crowded with life. For the new generation, survival now depends on finding passage through a world that is slowly closing. Every opening in the ice is a route to air and a path toward the unknown. The hunters have not gone away, and they too are adapting to the changing frozen world. The lessons of summer may now be the difference between safety and danger. Across Antarctica, the sea is building a new frozen kingdom, one night at a time. The polar night is still far away, but its first signs are already written across the water. Summer has passed, and the continent is beginning its slow transformation into ice once more. Next, the frozen coast. The open water is shrinking, and every route through the ice is becoming more precious. Each night, the coast gains another layer of protection and another barrier to movement. For the Weddell seal, one small opening is a lifeline between two worlds. Below the ice, the seal enters a hidden realm where air must be remembered and found again. As the ocean freezes, the new ice becomes a resting place for those built to live at its edge. Even in the cooling darkness, life continues beneath the new roof of ice. For the young penguins, every journey now begins with finding a way back to air. In the growing cold, the sea has become a maze of light, shadow, and survival. The hunters are still here, following the same narrow paths through the frozen world. The lessons of summer are becoming the instincts of winter. The coast is changing fast. Soon the open sea will be hidden beneath an unbroken white plain. Across the new ice, each breathing hole becomes a carefully guarded point of survival. In a world without landmarks, memory guides every dive back to the surface. Far from the open ocean, the continent is becoming quieter, colder, and more remote. And from the frozen horizon, another great journey is beginning. They are returning to the ice, toward the place where winter will test them more than any other creature. For them, the frozen coast is not an ending. It is the beginning of the hardest season. Ahead lies darkness, hunger, and storms beyond imagination. But together, they will enter the coldest chapter of the Antarctic year. Next, the first winter. Winter is no longer approaching. It has begun beneath their feet. For every bird, the journey inland is a test of patience, endurance, and instinct. Each step seems small, but together they carry the species into the heart of winter. From every direction, they gather at the same ancient place. At last, the long march is over, but the true challenge is only beginning. In the coldest place on Earth, a partnership begins with recognition. Across the ice, thousands of voices rise into the winter air. Already, the weather is reminding them that winter allows no weakness. Soon, one fragile egg will place the future of both parents in their care. For a brief moment, everything depends on perfect timing. A single mistake could expose the egg to deadly cold, so every movement must be precise. Now the father becomes the guardian of a life still hidden from the world. To return with food, she must leave the egg and father behind. Their route to the sea grows longer as the ice closes around the continent. The fathers remain, carrying warmth, hope, and the weight of another Antarctic winter. Together, they create a living wall against the cold. Within the storm, the smallest source of warmth becomes the most precious. Outside the huddle, Antarctica disappears into wind and snow. The first storm has passed, but the long winter has only just begun.
Next, the trial of winter.
The mothers have gone to sea, and now the fathers must endure the longest wait of their lives. Each father carries a future that cannot survive even a moment in the open cold. Together, they move like one living organism, sharing warmth with every slow turn. Every bird must take its turn at the edge, where winter tests the strength of the whole colony. No one stays protected forever, and no one is left alone for long. Out at sea, the mothers are still searching for the food that will carry them back. Beyond the ice, the mothers enter the ocean's hidden winter world. Here, every dive is a search for the energy their growing chicks will soon need. Even in winter darkness, the ocean still offers a chance to survive. Hours become days, and days become weeks in the darkness. He has not eaten since the mothers left, yet he cannot leave the egg for a single moment. Then the weather changes again, and the wait becomes a battle against the storm. In the heart of the storm, survival depends on every bird holding its place. Within the living fortress, a fragile warmth survives against impossible cold. Another storm has passed, but the hunger and the darkness remain. At sea, the mothers are gathering the strength needed for the journey home. Soon, instinct will turn them back toward the colony and toward the families waiting in darkness. Inside the egg, the first signs of life are beginning to stir. At opposite ends of the frozen world, two journeys are finally beginning to meet.
Next, the long wait ends.
In the darkness, every family is divided between ice and ocean. For the newest life in Antarctica, the world is still a shelter of feathers and warmth. Far from the colony, the fathers must recover strength before they can return. When their strength returns, Instinct draws them once more toward the families waiting on the ice. In the vastness of the colony, one familiar call can guide a parent home. Together again, the parents begin the next stage of the winter struggle. Across the colony, thousands of fragile lives are growing beneath the longest nights on Earth. Every small step is an early lesson in independence. As they grow, the chicks begin to find safety not only with their parents, but with one another. But winter offers no pause for families still learning to survive. In the storm, the colony becomes a living fortress once again. Here, every shared breath and every feather helps keep the next generation alive. Another storm has passed, and the chicks have survived another night in the dark. The darkness seems endless, but day by day, the young are changing. The chicks are growing stronger, and the colony is slowly becoming a nursery of young voices. At last, after months of darkness, the horizon begins to change. For the chicks, this is the first hint that the endless night will not last forever. Light is returning, but the cold has not yet loosened its hold. The darkest season has tested them all, and still, the colony endures. Next, the return of light. After months of darkness, light returns to the colony. For the young, this is a world they have never truly seen. The return of light changes everything, but winter has not yet released its grip. Across the colony, familiar voices guide every family through another frozen morning. The chicks are growing hungrier, and the parents must keep returning to the sea. Beyond the ice, the ocean is still the colony's only source of food. Below the surface, light is returning to a world that has waited in blue silence. Even before spring arrives, life is beginning to gather beneath the ice. Every return to the light is a reminder that the long night is ending. Day by day, the sun rises higher, and the frozen world begins to awaken. With the return of sunlight, the foundation of the Antarctic food web begins to stir. The smallest creatures are responding first, and soon the entire ocean will follow. For the seals, the changing light reveals new routes across an ocean still locked in ice. Every return from the ocean brings strength to a chick that is no longer so small. The chicks are beginning to stand together, learning that survival belongs to the colony as much as to the family. The ice is beginning to open, and with every lead, the ocean moves closer to the colony. Soon, these young birds will face a world far larger than the colony that raised them. Above the ice, the first travelers of the new season are already on the move. The long winter has not been forgotten, but a new season is finally beginning. Next, the first breath of spring. Spring begins with a single opening in the ice. a first breath from the ocean below.
Below the ice, the first energy of spring is already awakening.
The smallest creatures answer the returning sun first, and the entire food web begins with them. For the parents, every dive becomes easier as the ocean slowly comes alive again. Every successful return brings food, warmth, and strength back to the colony. The chicks are no longer hidden from the world. They are beginning to stand within it. The once solid kingdom of winter is beginning to break apart. For the seals, spring opens new passages through an ocean that has been closed for months. As the ice changes, new resting places drift across the sea. But wherever the ice opens, the hunters begin to move as well. Soon, the young will have to leave the colony behind and face the ocean for themselves. Along the coast, the first signs of another summer are beginning to appear. From the sea, the first returning colonists are arriving. The continent is waking in many places at once. Below the surface, spring is gathering momentum.
Far beyond the coast, the first ocean giants are beginning to return.
The awakening ocean is calling back travelers from across the world. Across Antarctica, each species is answering the same signal: the return of the sun. The frozen continent is opening once more, and life is moving with it.
Next, the awakening ocean.
With every day of spring, the frozen ocean opens a little farther. Below the ice, sunlight is feeding a hidden world that has waited through the long winter. The smallest animals are gathering first, and soon every hunter will follow. For the parents, the ocean is becoming generous again, and their chicks are waiting. Every successful dive carries the strength of the sea back to the growing colony. The chicks are growing quickly now, their future written in every journey their parents make. Along the coast, another ancient gathering is beginning. For the Deadliest, spring means returning home and beginning again. For the seals, the changing ice creates new paths and new places to rest. But wherever prey gathers, the hunters are already moving. In the spring ocean, speed and caution are still the price of every meal.
Far offshore, the ocean giants are returning to the feast.
The returning whales have found the first signs of abundance. Across the water, the food web is rebuilding itself before our eyes. For the orcas, spring is also a season of learning. Every route through the ice passed from one generation to the next. Every current, every signal, and every turn through the frozen maze becomes part of the calf's first education.
On land and at sea, the race for spring is accelerating.
Every creature is moving to claim the brief abundance of the new season.
The frozen continent is opening once more, and life is racing to meet it. Next, the race for spring.